And if I make a boo-boo with an eyeliner that I cannot remove, I just make something of it and then do the same boo-boo on the other hand, on the side, and just pretend like it's supposed to be like that, you know? Good morning and welcome to today's video where I'm going to play with some old favorites and some new things and basically put some makeup on the face. And if you're new, welcome. My name is Nikki. I'm 46 from the Netherlands, hence the accent, and I love to put colorful powders on my face. And if you love that too, if you want to hear about brands that no one else is talking about, if you want to be inspired by unusual color combinations, and if you are slightly orcish like me, then this is the channel for you. Subscribe now, become part of my nestlings, because we are having a blast here on the internet. That's basically it. Let me explain the slightly orcish. It means olive. I am a light, warm olive. Cheers. Yes. Oh. Today though, I am going to play with some things that I'm kind of trying out and I really do like, but I want to try out a little bit more. But I also, that was actually the focus of today, I also received the Unearthly Cosmetics Sleepover collection. So I have the palette, which looks like this. Oh no, go open. Here's the color story. And then I also got two blushes and a highlighter. So let me show you the blushes first. Here are the blushes. Do you even see the difference in color? I don't think so. So maybe if I do, let's do this. So this one is pink, and this one is more of a bluer. Let me swatch them. Maybe that will help. So this is the shade Cherub. I don't even think that the camera picks it up. And here is the shade Charmed. I don't know, can you see the difference? This one is pink and this one is more of a purple. Maybe if I swatch them. Maybe a bit better. So here's this is the pink and this is the purple. I honestly don't think that you can see the difference, which is very, very annoying, to say the least. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know how to make them show up. Oh, I think this way. You can tell that, wow, they pull very similar on me actually. So here is the one that's a little bit more pink, which you can see that it is very much pulling together, right? Well, that's what happens on me. Being an olive, and then especially both of these shades are cool toned, so they kind of, the more cool toned something is, the kind of grayer something becomes. So we will see what happens. It's all okay. And then I also have a highlighter. That's the shade Bow and Arrow, which is a stunning kind of a rosy peachy. Why won't it show? Maybe let me see. Maybe I can do this. Is that the correct way? Yeah, now you can see it a little bit better. Not a lot, but wow, my face is red compared to my hand. Yeah, that's what you get. I also have a pair of falsies, which look right up my alley. And these are in the style Dreamlike. Yes, and there also is a lip gloss included in the collection. I also received these, which are gel liners. So I want to try one today because I haven't tried her formula yet. And yeah, the only thing I have done is put a little bit of brow soap style stuff in my brows, so that it can kind of set. And yeah, I am currently trying out the Catrice Perfector Poreless Blur Primer, and I really do like it. I don't feel like it grips my makeup very well, but I do feel that it kind of mattifies a little bit, and it kind of blurs the pores a bit. But I do really like it. I like that it mattifies. I feel like, for instance, with the Glam Shop foundation, I don't have to set the Glam Shop foundation anymore. So it almost gives me a little bit of a powder before foundation method. In that it is a blurring primer, but it doesn't feel really silicone-y. It almost feels, I don't know, almost satiny. Like I have a light dusting of powder on my face, if that makes any sense at all. I don't know. Shall we for funsies do eyes first? Shall we? Okay, let's grab the Juvia's Place primer that I'm also kind of trying out. I like it. I like the color of it. I like the fact that it is not usually a very light eye primer is pink, right? And this one is not. It's more of a almost a yellowy. Let me zoom you in a tad. Almost a yellowy, very light yellowy, or something like that. Cream color, kind of like the color of my shirt. So the nice thing about that is it doesn't make my shadows overly pink or gray. It is a little bit of a drier formula though, and yeah, that's kind of depending on what you like. If you have very dry eyelids, I don't think you will like this one, because I feel like it sets down very, very quickly, which can be a very good thing if you have trouble blending. I think this could be a good thing. Now personally, I actually prefer a primer that stays sticky for a little while longer, but that is personal preference. Okay, the palette. I kind of want to swatch it, so let's do that. And the reason that I swatch is to see the color, kind of feel the formula a little bit, to feel if it's dry or not, but to see what the colors do on me. So the shade Cuddles, which is this one, it's a brown but it's turning red. That's okay. Okay, so this shade reminds me of the highlighter. This is a very, very pretty shade. Looking at the shimmers, it's a formula that I will like, because it's a formula that feels a little bit more towards the old school shimmers instead of the very, very foiled shimmers that she's also known for. The reason that I prefer this formula is because this formula will probably crease for me way less. So this is it's not a black, it's a very dark purple. I kind of want to do something with the dark red and then the darker shade. So let's do that. Let's do that. Yes. Okay. Now the nice thing about this is that you can pop out the pans, which is very, very nice. I am going to start with the shade Cuddles, which is that redder, this one, I think. Yeah, let's start with that. Oh, it's a very pigmented shade. I'm basically just kind of feathering it on. I don't really know how to explain it. Oh wow, you can see that I kind of have hot flashes sometimes. It's the age or something, I don't know, but you can immediately see it in my face. Okay, let's get a blending brush to just make sure that the layer is even. A little bit more. Cleaning the brush, and I'm just going to blend the edge. Now, as you saw, there was a lot of pigment, but it is blending out very well, at least on top of this primer. It will work very well on top of the ABH primer as well. Natasha Denona primer probably as well. Let's go to the shade Beloved. Why? Because I want to. I don't exactly know why, but I feel like I want to use it. I have a very flimsy brush and I want to use it here. And because of the blue, the blueness in the pink, you can kind of see that this is turning a little bit orange, which is kind of interesting. That's what happens when you have an undertone that's not basically neutral. It's always if you are a warm or a cool, so basically if you have a lot of yellow or a lot of pink in your face, you can kind of guess what a shade can do, you know. But for me, a lot of the time it can be very much, yeah, a thing. I'm going to go back to the shade Cuddles, which is the first shade that I used, with this brush. Apparently we're going higher today. I am going to go next to the shade called Sleepover. Tapping on the brush very, very well. Okay, I have trouble blending with this brush, so I'm grabbing a blending brush, cleaning it, and then going to blend the darker in. Okay, I'm going to go back to the red Cuddles. I have my brush pretty far on the handle, so it doesn't put a lot of pressure on. It can feel a little counterintuitive because you can have the feeling that you want to go here, but then you just put more pressure on your brush. So when you put it here, the farther away you are from the bristles, the lighter the pressure is that you put on your eye. It can be a learning curve, but okay, a little bit of the darker shade. And just a tap here because of the eye shape. Then I'm going to clean the brush again. And just blend the edge a bit. A little bit of shade Cuddles, which was that redder shade. Let's do stuff underneath my eye. I'm going to go to the shade Sleepover. Yeah, the denser the brush, the more color you deposit. So I am going to darken up the outer corner also. I'm going to kind of do a gradient a little bit. So I'm going to go to Sweetheart next, and then I'm going to go to that one, and it's all going to go underneath my eye. So first I'm going to go to Sweetheart with that dense brush that I was using. Very nice, a pigmented shade as well. And then I'm going to go to the shade Flirty, which was the lighter, not the lightest pink, but the lighter one of the pinks. It's nice to be able to be messy for once. Okay, let's go to the shimmers. Let me think. I want the shade Stay in the outer corner of my upper and lower lash line, upper lid and lower lid. So let's do that first. And I'm just putting it on the darker matte. I actually like a shimmery outer corner. I think it's cute. And then we are going to go to the shade Bouquet. Let's just go for it because I can. Let's spray the shade. I don't think that it needs it, but just for funsies. Oh, this is pretty. This would also be very, very pretty as a shimmer blush, especially if you're a bit darker. And the pans are pretty big, so you can, you know, dip a brush in easily. Then I'm going to go to the shade, oh, I used all the shades today, Satin. And this one is going to go in the inner corner. This is a palette, looking at all the shades that are in there, especially if you love pinks, that you can just, you know, use the entire palette for your face. Because the shade that I'm using now, you can use as a highlighter. The lightest shade you can use as a highlighter. The middle shade you can use as a blush, you know. One side is in the darker pink, the other side in the other pink, because I'm going to mix the two shades together now. So I'm just flipping my brush, as you can see. Okay, I'm going to do the same with the darker side as well. So one side shade Bouquet, other side the shade Stay in, which is the darker one. For the inner corner, I'm going to finish my face first, but I'm also going to show you how I kind of clean up the mess that I made. So let's go to the foundation. For foundation, I'm just grabbing my Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin, because I can. So what am I? Let me think. Let me kind of clean up first. So, and what you can also do is grab something, a piece of cloth or whatever. Grab your face primer and use that to basically clean off your face. of fallout if it sticks. So, okay. Now if you want to clean up there, you can use concealer, you can use your foundation, whatever you want. But basically you want a brush that is like this, so that you have precision. I have a little bit of foundation on a sheet so that I can easily grab it. And you just go underneath your brow. And you just very lightly clean it up basically. Does that make sense? Now what you need to look out for is the fact that you don't have it all the way down here, but that you use basically the tips of the bristle. And if you feel that the line is too harsh, what you could do is tap over it a little bit with your finger, or just use, you know, brush and a little bit of powder to smooth out that edge again, and I will show you in a minute. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I don't like it if it is up too high. So let me get my powder. Does not really matter. Where did I leave my powder? Oh, here. Let's grab the Charlotte Tilbury. It doesn't really matter what kind of powder you use, but just a powder that's suitable for your face. And then you're going to go to a brush and the powder and just basically set a little bit. And then just blend the edge with the face powder. You can also do that underneath your eye with concealer or foundation, whatever you want. Kind of depends on how high or low or crisp you want it, right? I don't know. I think this is a concealer brush. You could also use a lip brush or something if you want to be very precise. Why are you playing now? Why? One of my cats found what's it called? Clothing clip that you hang your clothing with on a rack to dry, you know, that kind of thing. And that's what he found. And apparently he needs to play with it. Okay. Let's do the brows. If I can find my stuff. Oh yeah, so I bought 2 new brow colors from Catrice. So I have the shade Espresso and I have the shade Ash Brown. Can we focus? Thank you. So, because unfortunately a lot of the time I feel like my brows are too red. So what I basically do, I think someone asked me for my brow routine. So I have already put some soap brow stuff in my brow to basically have it set, and then I fill the bottom of my brow in first. So that I have the shape, and then I just fill it in. And it doesn't really matter what kind of product you use, I think. It just depends on what you like. Honestly, this for me, it's just the quickest. The trick is to get them even, right? But still, unfortunately, it's still too I don't know, too brown almost. I almost want to say it's not black enough, but if I use black, it's too black. It's interesting. Now I have the shade Espresso that I'm just brushing through as well. And then I can even, sometimes I even pull in my the grey one that I have from MUA. Something like that. I think that's okay. So this is basically my brow routine. Now what I can do then is with the same brush that I used and foundation, just make sure that it is, I don't want to carve like that, so that's why I'm doing this. So it's still a little bit on the natural bristle side, if that makes any sense at all. Yes, so I have here one from Glam Shop in the shade, I think it's Burgundy. They always say that if you have a dark inner rim, that it shortened, you know, it does this to your eyes, and I agree, but I do always really like it. And yeah, that's ultimately what's most important, right? So let's put on eyeliner first. Oh, no, I wanted to use one of these, right? Shall I do the dark? Yeah, I almost need the dark purple, so let's do that. So they come like this. Yes. Okay. Let's see if I can remove that. I can. Okay. I have a brush that looks like this. Now I got mine from AliExpress, but there are more companies who do that. Let's see. Okay. So it picks up very nicely because it's very creamy. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but honestly it's more important that I see what I'm doing, otherwise I'm smearing it all over the place. Ooh, this goes on very, very nicely. Now, I don't know how long it will stay this creamy for. Oh, see? I'm not paying attention. And then I'm making a mess. So what happens when you do boo-boo? I usually just grab the palette that I'm working with, grab the shade, and that's the darkest, or the hot pink shimmer, and I just plop it back on. And basically hope no one will notice. I also have a video on how I do my winged liner. But the trick is to ignore all the folds. You just paint it on your eye, you paint the shape that you want when you're looking forward, and then when you're doing this, you can fill everything in. That is the trick. And also my eyeliner is always different on both eyes because my eye shape is not the same on both. So you can really see that. So when you see my whale tail, basically how I call it, they are not even on both sides when I'm looking down. But they are even-ish when I look forward. So I don't know, can you see the shape that I'm making? And then when I look forward, I have a nice wing. So here's the liner, and I really, really like the formula of this. I also love the color, honestly. So I know I'm very, very happy that I have a red, because I love a red eyeliner. I have one from Colourpop that I detest, but I only kept it because I only had one. Okay, so the falsies. Lining them up with my eye. And I prefer to cut mine from the outside. But if you want extreme length, you can also cut them from the inside. It is the only thing though, and that's what, if you look at the falsie, if you look at it how it's made, it's a flare, right? And if you cut from here, you are missing that flare. You are missing that shorter inner part. You can also always stack them. So basically what you cut off, you can also stack it and basically double layer the ending if you want to. So let me put on my falsies. What I like about these is that they have a thin band, but it's still sturdy. They remind me a little bit of my the Londons that I love so much from Primark. Okay, let's put on. Oh, I left them a little bit too long, so now I can feel them when I blink, which is kind of annoying, but it happens sometimes. I'm going to put on mascara. Yeah, I know everyone says no mascara when you have lashes on already, but this is a tube mascara and it does not eat up my falsies. Okay, let's put a little bit of inner corner highlight on now. I usually don't do this, but let's for funsies. Be a little bit extra. Nice and dark and dramatic. Let me put on my foundation. Actually, I haven't tried the Charlotte Tilbury foundation with this primer yet, so I'm kind of curious what happens. I actually saw a new technique for freckles. So basically you dot them on your finger. And I don't think that that person did not use a freckle product though, but I am. And then just basically tap it on your face, and it makes them very natural, and that's it. It makes it very natural. It gives you a dirty finger though. There is that. But yeah, as you can see, it does make it look very natural. So I actually quite like to do it this way. And you can also just dot them on your face and then tap over them. So you can also do this. Just dot them on and then tap over them. But I don't know, I quite like the way that they are looking when you do it that way. I am going to powder my face. I don't really feel like I really need it, but I do kind of want it, so let's do that. And I'm also going to bronze. So I also put on the lippy, as you can see. The lip liner is from Christian Odette in the shade Kitten, and it's the gloss from the collection in the shade Cupid. Let's go to highlighter. I also love to do a highlighter before blush. So, oh, that's nice. This is actually a brush from Kaleidos that came with the Night Flower set. Pretty. This is a pretty. Now I like rose gold highlighter, but because this is a little bit more of a peach, I like that one a lot more. I'm curious to see what the shades are doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one shade on one side and the other shade on the other side. If I can find a brush that I want to use, that is. Here it is. It was hidden. So I'm going to do the shade Charmed on this side. This is a very blue toned one. So let's see what it does, because I have no idea. Okay, so blending it over. I like it. I like blush draping, what can I say? Okay, yeah, I think it looks fine. Now, oh no, that's the highlighter. Now I'm going to go to the shade Cherub for the other side. They are pretty pigmented. I pick up a lot with the brush. Now the brush that I have is a real haired brush. I think I actually prefer this side over this side, color-wise that is. Which I didn't think I would. I don't know how it translates on camera though. I have no idea. I have no idea. And just with the butt of the sponge, I'm just going to, I don't know, bounce it in a little bit more. Just the edges, I don't know, I like that. But yeah, here is the finished look. I like it. I love, well, as I said, I used some of my favorites. I think that the Charlotte foundation is just so pretty, and I think it works very well on top of the primer that I'm trying. So that is very good. Let's quickly go over the stuff that I use from Unearthly. Let's start with the gloss. I like this type of gloss. I like the substance that it has. I like a gloss that is that I don't feel like I do that and it's basically gone. I personally prefer that. It's not as sticky as the butter glosses from NYX though. It's less sticky than that, but I still really like her formula. As I said, I now have, I think, 3 or 4 colors, and I also think it complements the collection very well, this shade. So I think it's very pretty. The blushes, I like the formula. They are pretty pigmented though. So if you are fair, go in slow. If you are deeper, you can build these up. I don't know if this, because this is a bluer one, if this will turn ashy on a deeper skin tone. And this one probably won't. I think this one will work very nicely. Fun fact is I actually prefer the bluer one, and I did not think that I would, but I'm going to keep on trying them. Now my personal preference is a blush that I can build up instead of immediate pigment, and I feel that this is pigmented, but I can still nicely work with it because I can blend it out well, if that makes any sense. But I do think that this is a formula that you can build very, very well. And yeah, I use a brush like this, which is pretty open. Now, if you use a brush that's denser, you get a lot more pigment. So yeah, so far I really like them, and I am going to try them out a little bit more. The highlighter, I think it's very, very pretty highlighter. I love the color of this a lot. I think it's stunning. Let me kind of see against the shade Satin. Yeah, there is a difference. I don't know if you can see a difference, but the shade Satin, which is in the palette, has a gold in it, and this is almost more of a peach. So a pink to peach, and this is a pink or rose gold, I think they call it. So that was it. Also, let's shade Beloved. No, it's not the same. Let's grab the shade Beloved. I don't know if you can see it though. And then we get the shade Charmed, which is the blush, which is the bluer blush. And then let's put the pinker blush next to it. So I have here the 3 shades. I don't know if you can see the difference. I see that they have a very blue cast on me. But basically, this is the eyeshadow that is in the palette, which is the shade Beloved. Which is basically it's color-wise in between the 2 blushes. Then here is the bluer blush that I have on this side, which is the shade Charmed. And then here is the shade Cherub, which I then have on that side. So basically the eyeshadow is smack in the middle of those 2 colors. If you like to use your eyeshadow palette as a face palette as well, this will be very, very nice. I think you can go a lot of ways with this palette. And I think that the eye look that I have now, I think it's very, very pretty. Will I use this palette often? Probably not, because it's not a color story that I go for. But the combination that I have right now, this is something that I can see myself doing more often. And I actually at first thought that this shade was kind of throwing me off a little bit, but I actually like that she put it in the palette, because it just makes it something different. Now, as you can see, these are holes. You can empty out the palette and mix and match, especially if you have some of her bigger palettes with the same type of shade. You can make your own palette, right? So yeah, did I mention that I received this in PR? I don't know, maybe I forgot. But I did receive the collection in PR, and I will leave down below where you can find it. Oh yeah, the eyeliner. I think it's a very, very pretty color. This is the only one that I used. I don't know how quickly it will dry out. I don't know, but I felt it was very, very nice and creamy. But not too creamy that it really slides around. But I need a certain creaminess because my eyelids are older, you know. And if it tugs a little bit, I get skipping. And this, for me, I think that the color is stunning, especially with this palette. And I cannot wait to try out the others as well, especially the red. But yeah, I'm very, very happy that I have them all. And they are very big pots as well. But yeah. Oh yeah, the falsies. I think that the falsies are very, very pretty. These are falsies that I will wear a ton. They are dramatic enough to show up, but they're also natural enough to be used every day. Well, I don't really care. If I want to have dramatic falsies on, I will do that anyway. But I like to have falsies that are a little bit more natural, a little bit more open maybe. And these really remind me of the Primark and Social collab, but then the style London that I love so much that I cannot link because you cannot get it anywhere. These are the same. So these are maybe a little bit more flared. Yeah, I really, really like this style. And this was the style Dreamlike. That was me getting ready, and I will link everything down below. Let me know what you think of this look. I really like it. And yeah, that was it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to wish you a fantastic day, a fabulous evening. May your foundation always match your neck, and I will see you very soon in my next one. Bye guys.